Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Hands United podcast. Let's talk about sex. I'm Demetrius. I'm the CEBA Operations and Program Manager here at Hands United.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shayla. I am the Monitoring, Evaluation, and Learning Manager.
We're here today to talk about this last season. And yes, we're calling it a season because we gave y'all some plots.
We did. We gave y'all some stuff to think about. We gave y'all some stuff to talk about. You know, we were on location. Each one of our podcasts, you know, not many people can say that, but guess what? We can. So,
yes, we're coming to you live from a secret location. So, as Shayla said, we just kind of want to take this last episode to kind of recap what happened this last season. This process was new for all of us. We jumped in head first and we brought to you what we thought to be ways to educate our audience, teach you guys more about capacity building, more about what we do and who we are and why we're passionate about the work. So we're going to take a few moments and we're going to go through what happened this season on Let's Talk About Sex.
Y'all. Don't forget about the y'all. All right. So you want to talk about some of these recordings that we've done in the past?
Yeah. So we kind of want to recap a few of the episodes and things that happened. One of my first highlights, actually, let me go back and let's pay homage to those who've been a part of the podcast, to everyone who came on and was pivotal in us kicking this off, pivotal in guiding us through what the process looks like. And I'm gonna talk about y'all again at the end. But right now, episode 1. So
they know who they are.
Yeah. As we hop into this, we really want to touch on some highlights that happened throughout the season. One of the first highlights for me in the first episode was episode 1. So let me give you guys a little bit of the background story. So went to North Carolina to film the first episode. Specifically, we wanted to focus on holistic health. And this episode was a follow-up to one of our community learning labs. And we talked to you guys about this before. It's our idea of a collective space for people to come together and talk about ways in which they approach the work that we do. So as a follow-up,
each other.
You said what?
How they can learn from each other.
Exactly. So one of the follow-ups to this was us having an in-depth conversation with one of our CEBA partners. And we had an amazing person, Gerald Gibson from My Brother's Keeper, come on and talk about holistic health. We connected a lot because we're both Southern guys from small towns, and a lot of the way that we approach health was very community centered. It was an amazing experience. It was fun talking through what all of that looks like. And that was one of the highlights for me. What about you, Shayla? I know you weren't exactly a part of that episode, but what is one of the highlights of you from season 1?
So first, I want to give a shout out to MBK. They are one of our CEBA partners. So shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for definitely helping us out in this podcast.
Right.
But some of the things I took away was just kind of a holistic approach. And I think that that's really important, especially when you're doing HIV service delivery, is to kind of address all the things that your potential patients or your clients may need, because if they're not addressing their most important, their hierarchical needs, they're not going to be able to engage in prevention effectively. So that was one of the major takeaways of your session that I really enjoyed. Gerald was a great guest. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a really good experience. And circling back again on that, like I said before, we come to you live from a secret location for every episode. So a little bit about where we recorded and what this looks like. That one of the episodes was doing in North Carolina. We also did one burning the midnight oil in Albuquerque. So again, a lot of what we did for this podcast as we were figuring things out was to, when we're together, let's talk it out. So we went to, what was the name of the conference again, Shayla?
The National Latinx Conference on Hepatitis. I'll do the acronyms: HCV, SUD, which is substance use disorder, and HIV. We had a good time in Albuquerque. A sidebar, let me tell y'all how they tried to kill me. They took me on the mountain. I didn't know we were going on the mountain. I was terrified. Nobody said anything. They just said, "Oh, Shayla, we're going on a hike." I'm like, "Okay, a hike. I can do that." Terrified. But aside from that, we did record a podcast episode in Albuquerque, along with me being terrified.
That night, we were able to talk about in our podcast about Ebby's and a little bit about our experience. Um, Another location we were at, what's another place we recorded at, Shayla? I know we've been all around the world at I.
In
So
Chicago, we were like down in like the basement of the hotel in this little hallway. And right in the middle of us recording, like these people just came around with like 5 suitcases making all this noise. And we were like, okay, thank y'all.
hey, how y'all doing?
How y'all doing? Thank you for joining us. Would you like a mic? Like,
Exactly. So, and crazy enough, as we get better at this and we become more fine-tuned at how we deliver, I'm really gonna miss those kind of innovative spots that we found to record the podcast, because a lot of the heart of what we did for this was rooted in gathering our genuine experiences. And what better place to gather experience than while you're at the place? We would go to a conference or meet up in the city ultimately.
mm-hmm.
And before we left there, we sat down and brought to you all as an audience what we were feeling, our takeaways, our highlights. So y'all got the raw, y'all got the
I
real,
got the real deal.
regardless of what we could tuck away and make it work. As CB providers, we've been taught to be innovative, to be nimble, all that kind of jazz. So we brought all that to the table. When y'all listen to these episodes, trust and believe that we're in the core of it.
I am gonna really miss us being able to just, be in a location and just, break out the podcast equipment and, put something down. But I'm not gonna say we won't be able to do that again because we do have a trip coming up soon. So that might be cool to do one. But anywho, so just to recap some of the episodes that we have done, we did do an episode on evidence-based interventions that was very informative. We got a bunch of requests about talking about evidence-based interventions, and we kind of wanted to use the podcast as an opportunity to explain to people who may not know what exactly an evidence-based intervention is.
Right.
Specifically, I think we talked about one intervention in particular. I want to say it wasn't SNS. I can't remember which one it was.
It could have been SNS, it could have been HNS, it could have been
Oh, it was PCC. It was
PCC,
personalized cognitive
cognitive
counseling.
counseling.
So we talked specifically about that one, which is basically an intervention that's used to decrease behaviors based on conversations that people may have. So we talked a lot about that, and we was being real scientific, but y'all can always go check. We may be ending this season, but y'all can still check out our past podcast episodes on our YouTube channel.
Absolutely. And they're there. Like we said before, we come at y'all from, we pull from the hip and we just give it to y'all how it is. We try our best to educate you on the things we're talking about, because we understand that a lot of professionals may come to the podcast with a sea of knowledge, and some people don't. So you do want us to define stuff if we're using certain jargon, just so you can kind of make yourself more abreast. So yeah, definitely love that. But we've had a lot of
We've had a lot of changes that have occurred within our team, and that's, change is good. So we are looking forward to the next season that is coming up. We are going to be new and improved, hotter. We're going to have some really good topics. We're going to have some real, yes,
thinner.
yeah. Ooh, thin.
I'm talking about me. I don't know about nobody else.
I want to be thin.
I'm gonna be thinner, not thin. I don't know how I could do that.
I want to be Beyonce, but looking forward to our next season. It's gonna be something that y'all should definitely turn into. We're gonna have a lot of different podcasts about different subjects. Some of them are gonna be based off of our SIBA deliverables, but we're also gonna have some other podcast topics that we may even get some topics from you all. You may want to communicate with us and let us know some themes that you want to hear. We also going to have a new cast, a bunch of new people coming on to lead our podcast, and we also going to bring back some familiar faces. We're not going away forever.
Yeah, I might pop up here and there on like an episode. So sit tight, lean back into your chair, because we're about to take you somewhere.
I can't.
But no, yeah, Shayla. We couldn't bear to leave without saying shout out to some of our very special guests. One in particular being Vico, for coming in and supporting Zero Homophobia, and as well as all of our previous cast members, new cast members, staff, editors, friends, family, pets, um, dietitians, podiatrists,
Any and every, the commission, shout out to the commission.
everyone who made season 1 possible, who supported us on a dream, who came in and were authentically themselves, even in their uncomfortability. It was great.
It was,
And we
we
can't
appreciate
wait.
y'all.
We can't wait to hit y'all with what's coming next, because it's gonna pop you. And you're about to be blown away. You're about to be pulled in even closer. And Shayla mentioned this earlier too. In the interim, while we're away, become familiar with what was before, so that when we hit you with season 2, you already know what we're coming with.
I feel like we're leading into a renaissance and I'm here for it. And before we go, of course, we have to thank our listeners. Thank y'all so much for listening to us. Continue to listen to us.
Absolutely.
Share our podcast with your friends, your family. Put it on your social media pages. We need to get this information out as well, because it's important for us to know this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shayla, for being here at the inception. Cause, OGs.
Oh, geez.
OGs. Thank y'all so much.